software is being applied. Now let's go to another test which is most popularly used by all the PhD scholars and other people. That is two categorical variables. We would like to know their relationship. Okay, and we want to make a comparison and try to find out what is the strength of the relationship and whether these two are significantly different or not. So these are the situation. Is there any association between income level and brand preference? I'm sure like most of the companies would like to know based on their brand standing in the market, whether income has an impact on their brand preference. And family size and size of the washing machine, does it make any sense? Like based on family size, whether the washing machine size is going to change or it's going to remain same. Now look at the financial aspect, relationship between company stock and S&P 500 stocks. Do you find any difference in that? So like that you can apply. So let's take this example and try to solve. This is again a marketing example. There are 100 samples which have been picked up. People have been trying geo services and all. We are trying to find out whether customer satisfaction leads to use of geo services in the future or not. This is what needs to be evaluated here. So we have taken 100 samples and we just want to know noted their satisfaction level and noted their preferences in terms of are they going to try it in the future or not. So again, we are setting the hypothesis. You can see here there is no relationship between customer satisfaction and usage of geo services in the future. So how we are going to do it? Just look at this. So this is what we define here in the variable column. Satisfaction, I define one as satisfied and maybe two as not satisfied. You can see here 2 like that, maybe one and all. Then use of geo service, yes, one means I will use it, two means I will not use it, though I am trying now and it is not okay, so I will not use it. So like that you can see there, we go there, analyze descriptive statistics, and we go for cross tabs, and then we try to put in row and column. So I'm going to use of geo service satisfaction, and these things have to be tick mark, and finally you say continue. And again here also under cross tabs you can see here these things can be looked upon, observed. So you press here, cell display, everything comes here, and all these things have to be put. Then we get this output. So this is the total thing. Satisfied, how many are there? 55. Will not will use geo service and satisfied 55, but whereas will not use geo service 13 are there. So similarly not satisfied, will use geo. I am not satisfied, but maybe I may end up using it because there is no other option. It is economical. Will not use geo service. So these two things are clubbed. Now I have already said that we always have to look at chi-square SIG value. So here you can see that this value is less than 0.05, and we can conclude that there is a relationship between customer satisfaction and geo service. However, we also want to know their relationship strength. You can see here, look at 0.594. This value is going to tell us in terms of yes, there is good strength. So there is some sort of a moderate association, or you can say high association because it is above 0.59. So this is again a basic understanding for us to understand what is the strength of the relationship and whether there is a significant difference between these two or not. So by doing this, we are able to conclude what we have said, that customer satisfaction leads to use of geo services. Yes, definitely it will lead to geo service. So this is how it is concluded. So let's go to another important tool which is used by most of the researchers in the field of marketing, that is ANOVA. Here we have one population. Maybe there are three different population under one category, and we try to test it on the dependent variable. So there is independent variable and there is one dependent. So let's see, these are again some things where you can apply ANOVA. Some examples, say for example diet 1 2 3, and you have weight loss. So diet 1, maybe if somebody is following some sort of a diet, right? Different kinds of diets are looked upon and they are checking on weight loss. Now ANOVA can be used here, trying to find out is there significant difference between these two, is there significant difference between these two. So like that we would like to know, when you say that there is significant differences between these two, then we can say okay, this is working out. Otherwise, if you say like across all the three groups, you find that there is no significant difference, then we can conclude by saying that whatever may be the practice, it did not have any impact. Now look at fertilizers. I put chemical, I put biological waste, I don't do anything, and I want to see the impact on the plant type. Does it happen? So that is how. Look at this. I initially go for a sample testing. I do high promotion. I look at sales. I do medium and I look at sales. I do low and I look at sales and try to find out whether this promotion, whatever money I have spent on high or medium and low, does it really have an impact on the sales or not? That is where we can see the importance of this so-called one-way ANOVA. So this is a situation what we have. In fact, there is an apple juice company which is trying out these aspects, and three strategies are considered because they want to come out. They have come out with an ad campaign emphasizing on these aspects. Three strategies. One is I will highlight convenience in one of the ads, quality in one of the ads, and price. Okay, in their ad campaign, and we would like to know like what is its impact on the weekly sales. So this was recorded for 20 weeks, and that is what is being done here. So you can see here the strategy 1, 2, 3. So you can see like 1 convenience, 2 as we have indicated it is about quality, 3 is price. So I highlight more on the price, or I highlight more on the convenience, or I highlight more on the quality. So I do that and I try to see like whether this ad campaign had an impact in terms of sales or not. So this is what has been done. You can ignore this media and all, but right now we are just considering only these two things that you can see on your screen. So this is one is convenience, and for that what sales we are able to get. Similarly here, if you go down, right, if the entire file, you'll have 2, and similarly 3 will be there, and the various sales for the 20 weeks period that has been recorded. So once we do this, now we run this, go to analyze, compare means go to one-way ANOVA, right? And our dependent variable is our strategy, right? And our the factor here is again the sales. So let's see like what comes out. Mm. Now you can see here that these are the three population 20, 20, 20, and this is the mean. Now looking at the mean, you can easily find out that this mean is pretty high. However, this is little far and this is very, very low. Now what ANOVA says, it comes out with a summary table. It says like 0.007. So definitely it is less than 0.05. We find that there is significant difference in this three population, and looking at the mean value, we can clearly say is that the sales is highest when the emphasis is on the quality of the product, because looking at the mean you can say. Now however, we'll like to run some post hoc analysis, because see, post hoc analysis can be run only when you have this significance. Here if you get 0.1, 0.2 and all, if it is not significant, then there will be no post hoc, because there is no difference between the three population. This is what I say, three population: population 1, 20, population 2, population 3. So there is no difference in this population. So here you can find, since this is less than 0.05, there is a difference in the population. So this is where you can look at the mean and still conclude, yes, quality is definitely different compared to convenience and price. Now if at all you want to suggest to the company, then you say like, please like use quality in your ad campaign. That will definitely end up giving you more sales. So we are going for post hoc, trying to identify, is there any difference between convenience and quality? Okay, you can see yes, there is a difference. Convenience and price, you can see the value here 0.27, definitely greater than 0.05. So there is no difference between convenience and price. If your ad campaign highlights convenience, or if it highlights price, hardly it makes any difference in terms of the dependent variable, that is sales. So we say like these two, or even if you do this or you do this, maybe like the impact is not there, but definitely if you do this, and you can see that there is a lot of difference between the convenience as well as quality. So one method is highlighting this, one method is highlighting this. Definitely you will find that quality, whenever you highlight, looking at the mean scores as we have understood, so you can see that the sales is on the higher side. So that is how you end up concluding. So all these aspects are there. Now look at the homogeneous subsets. you can see that convenience and price, look at this entire thing. So convenience and price, you can find that they are in the one place. That is where we have seen convenience and price. They are definitely same and they are following one subset. And look at the other thing, price and quality. Price as well as quality, they are also same. So price and quality, you can see price and quality, they are also same because it is not significant. But however, when you look at convenience and you look at quality, you can find a lot of differences there. So we say like convenience as well as the quality, there is going to be a lot of difference. So 565, 665, and definitely the advice that is given to the company is please emphasize on quality in your ad campaign. That will give you very good results. So now let's go to the next aspect. We have done one-way ANOVA. Now we are going for two-way ANOVA. So the word itself will tell you two-way ANOVA. So here you have 1 dB. Maybe like you can see here 1 dB is there, but there are two IVs. IVs are independent variables. So here, what are the IVs here? This is one example. So low, medium, high, maybe one category, but this is one IV and this is one more IV. So can I just club this IV number 1, this entire thing is IV number 1 and IV number 2 on the dependent variable, that is dV. The impact we would like to know, like whether physical activity, does it have an impact on our blood cholesterol concentration, and whether gender has a link with cholesterol concentration. Or you take one more example, gender and education level on interest in politics. So these are nothing but we are using two-way ANOVA. That means two IVs and one DV, and DV is the dependent variable. So this is a problem statement what we have. We are basically interested to know the impact of brand, that is one of the one IV, the impact of the color, and this is again another IV. What is its impact on the sales of the pens? So this is what you need to understand. So we are taking two things here, that is IV1, IV2, and we would like to know the DV, that is dependent variable, that is what is its impact on the sales of the pen. So how it looks like. Now this is how we have recorded the data here. So I have four brands here, Cello, Reynolds, Montex or Adgel. These are the four brands what I am testing, and what is their color, right? And what is the sales that is being done. And we analyze this, compare, because now we are going for univariate analysis, that is two-way ANOVA. So we go here, and what is our dependent variable? Sales. And what are our independent variables? Fixed factors are also called as IVs, and also we try to put them here. And we just press this post hoc analysis. So you can see press this, and maybe I would like to know, in case there is, you find that there is significant difference in the brand or in the color. Right now I am testing only brand. If you want, you can put color. Always you should understand, whenever you are going for a post hoc analysis, please see that there are two conditions that need to be met. One is you need to have at least three players. Now color, you can see black, blue and all. So brand also we have seen, it had four things, right? Cello, Reynolds, Montex and that. So here also black, blue, red, green, something all. So it should have at least three categories, then only you can make comparison. Now if you have only two population means only black and white, and you can't do like post hoc analysis. So at least three should be there. So this is where color, yes, there is a scope, and I just press only one button, Q key, because that will tell me in case if the color is significant in our test, then only the post hoc analysis need to be run. If it is not significant, then there is no point in running post hoc analysis. So what we do, we run the statistics, and you can see here this is the value which comes here. You have to look at these things because these are our IVs, right? And what is your DV? DV is your sales. So brand impact on sales, look at the SIG value. Yes, brand has an impact on sales. That is why it is less than 0.05. Now what happens to color? Look at what color impact on sales. Look at this value. What it says, 0.229, definitely greater than 0.05. So it is not significant. However, brand is significant, color is not significant. So whenever it is significant, since brand is significant, I have scope to know like which among the three or four brands are similar, which are different. That is what needs to be done. So what is the conclusion? brand has a significant impact on the sales of the pens. Color has no significant impact on the sales of the pens. But however, if you just look at, because there were two IBs, we have gone for cross metal. Brand and color, does it impact the sales? However, we find that it is not very significant because this value is more than 0.05. Always I keep on saying, in the entire presentation, please understand only one mantra is there, that is 0.05. If it is less than 0.05, we say there is significant difference. If it is more than 0.05, then we say like it is not significant. However, you can increase your cutoff to 90%. So 95%, it is 0.05. If it is 90%, this can be compared with 0.1, right? So it all depends on the nature of your study. So it is left to the authors the way they decide. But the maximum cutoff, what we see most of the time, we always check for 0.05. In exception cases, we may go up to 0.1. Now, if we have kept it as 0.1, then this also is very, very significant, because 0.075 is less than 0.1 and can be accepted. So right now we are rejecting it because this is more than 0.05, and only thing which comes out from this table is brand has an impact on sales because it is significant. Now next we are going for MANOVA, a higher level. Slowly we have moved from one sample, two sample to ANOVA to MANOVA. Two-way ANOVA we did, where we were using two IVs. Now we may have a situation wherein you may have more than one dependent variable. So far you might have seen here our DV was only one, sales here. Now you go to the previous example, there also we had only one DV. That is what we said about sales. So like that, you will find that DVs can improve or they can increase. That is where we are going for MANOVA. So MANOVA is nothing but multivariate analysis of the variance. In this also you may have one-way MANOVA. One-way MANOVA means what? Only one IB will be there. It may have three categories, but there will be two DVs and all. So when you have that situation, we go for this MANOVA and all. So let's see, like these are the examples where it can be done. So we are having two DBs at that time. What is the impact of your IV on DB? We have to see. So this is a problem statement, a very simple thing. This is about the people who have come from a high school, right? They have come from three different schools, ABC schools, and we are taking their academic performance, right, in terms of their English marks as well as maths marks. And what we want to know is, you are coming from different school, whether your performance on these papers, does it vary or does it remain same? I mean, because you are coming from different school, and different school teach in different way, and we would like to know like whether it had an impact on this so-called English or maths paper and all. So what we do here, so you can see here initially some testing is being conducted, trying to see whether our population is normally distributed or not. So you can see here English score for ABC, math score for ABC, and we are looking at SIG values as per Shapiro's principle. If it is more than 0.05, then we have met the normality condition. Always you all need to understand, whenever because this normality is very sensitive. In case you start finding that it is not coming significant, maybe like you can take a back seat or increase your sample size and make it a point that like you are able to meet the condition. In case you are not able to meet the condition, no worries, increase your sample size, it is taken care. That is why we keep on saying that go for this, go for more, go for a higher sample size. That will take care of majority of the problems. Now what we do here, we have this correlation. We try to check whether correlation is there between these two. Now why correlation and all? Because it may lead to something called as multicollinearity. If there is a high correlation and all, then our analysis may fail. So we are trying to do test whether English and maths, what sort of correlation is there. English versus math, maybe 0.39, not a big thing. Anything above 0.5 and all, you need to be very cautious. So right now this is good to go for us. So we have checked these two things. One is normal distribution, that we have done test for normality and looking at the SIG value following the principle of Shapiro's. Everything it meets. Second, we are checking about is there a correlation and all. Now we feel that so much of correlation is not there. It's very moderate, not an issue, so we can go ahead. Now, how do we go about it? Another one more thing is the third condition that needs to be looked upon, because you are going for a high-end tool like Manova and all. So it is about outlier detection. You can see there how to do it. Maybe go for regression, go for linear, right? Or put the subject ID here just for dependent. Put these two things here and try to find out, press this Marlowe distance, because this is going to help us in identifying an outlier. We don't want any outliers in our analysis, so we want to get rid of it. If there are any outliers, it is going to tell us which case and what can be done about it. So we go there, and the moment you press this button, right, you say continue and all, immediately it develops one column here. You can see this column Mahalanobis distance and all. Now you can arrange this Mahalanobis distance in terms of increasing or descending order. Why descending order is because I have taken two variables, and since two dependent variables are there, maximum value is 13.82. So I need to look at these values here, because these are all cases, right? Responses that have come. Anywhere you find that this value has exceeded 13.82, then we can end up deleting that thing, and that is how the Mahalanobis analysis is done. So Mahalanobis, you can see that it is help us in detecting outliers. So that is why we are carrying out this aspect. So Mahalanobis we have checked, and we find that none of the values that are here are actually crossing 13.82. Because now how do you decide this value? This is a critical table. How many dBs you have? You may have a situation that you may have 3 dBs. Right now we have taken only 2 dBs, right? That is English and math score, and we have only one IV. IV is nothing but school A, school B, school C. That means school is only one thing, IV, but in that we have categories like A, B, C. However, independent variable, we have two elements, that is one is English score and math score. So we run this, and we check here, and we find that none of the values are above 13.82. All are good, no outliers. Now we'll go for analysis. Very simple analysis. You just open multivariate, and you push your fixed factor, that is my IV here, and these two are DVs, right? And we just go for post hoc, trying to identify. Now post hoc, we want to know the difference between ABC schools, and that's what is being worked out here. Press this homogeneity, all these things are there, and press this post hoc, because we would like to know, is there any difference between the school A, school B, and school C. Then say continue, and maybe you try to get all this output. Now this is the main output that you are supposed to see. This is nothing but again deviance test. What I have already said, this value should be greater than 0.5. Yes, math score is very much inside, but our English score little 5.7, you can say 6 also, it is greater, can be ignored. Now look at the Wilks lambda value of what it says. Look at the SIG value. This is a value what you need to concentrate. This is definitely less than 0.05. So we are able to conclude that there is significant differences. So now if you are going for 1-to-1, that is test of between the subject, that means school and math score, school and English score, this is 1-to-1. But here it is a combined effect that has been looked upon. So Wilks lambda, both the dependent variables are taken together, and they assess that there is significant differences between the scores of maths as well as English, and they have come from different school, and you find the variation, and that's what is being worked out here. So you can see here both 1-to-1, yes, this and this is significant, this and this again, this is significant. So you can say that across the schools, the maths as well as English scores are varying. Now what is the impact of maths score on the DB? DB on IV, maybe 33.4%. This is your R square values. Here also English score on a school, that again almost 0.5. That means these two are able to explain the variance, okay, in the dependent on the independent variable. So R square 0.334, 0.520. These are the things that needs to be looked upon. Many a time we try to see like the variance that is being explained by that element. Variance is a very important factor. What we say R square and all. The more the variance, you are able to understand more about that aspect which you are measuring. Since we have got that post hoc analysis, since this is significant here, this is significant here, and here also significant, we are interested to see, because we had test this. I want to do a multivariate analysis. I would like to go for this post hoc. So this is what I have done. You can see here post hoc analysis for school we are taking up and we are conducting, and what is coming now. Now English score, school A versus school B, yes, significant. School A and school C, significant. Then again, between these, this is for English score, this is for math score. So let's see the homogeneous subset. You can see there which are same and which are different. Yes, school C, definitely it falls in one segment. A school B and A, you can find that they are falling in one segment. That means by and large these two are same, but whereas when you compare to school C, you find difference for this math score. So these two are same. That means there is no difference between these two, but definitely these and this there is a difference. That is why they are falling into two different subsegment when it comes to math score. Sorry. Similarly, when we look for English score, there also C and B are falling in one segment. However, A is different. So you can see that these two are pertaining to, they by and large are same. But however, when these two compare to this, there is significant difference. That means this is somewhat different. Something else has happened here. Maybe a good teacher, maybe like the students are bright. So whatever it is, but this is going to tell us that they are same, but this is different. So something different has happened in those schools. Maybe good or bad, we have to see, but difference is there. And looking at the mean also, we can say like yes, they are pretty bright students, or they are different when it comes to English. So here when it comes to maths, this C is good. It all depends on the kind of teacher, the kind of students who are there. So from this you are able to understand that the variations that are happening. So let's move on to the next one, correlation, very simple aspect. Is there a correlation between two variables? You can see a lot of examples.